So The Bride just bombed at the box office, and honestly, I saw this coming. So if you watched my short last week, I kind of alluded to the fact that this could happen. I said I had something that was worrying me that might prevent this from being a box office hit, and that's exactly what happened. The problem is simple. The Bride was never meant for mainstream horror audiences. I'm not knocking this movie at all. I didn't get a chance to see it this past weekend, but I am going to see it in theaters. That's a promise. I'm really excited for this movie. This is a type of movie that I would like to see in theaters. I just don't think that it's meant for the general horror audience that goes to theaters. I love the look. Everyone's talking about Jessie Buckley as the Bride, and you cannot dismiss Christian Bale as Frankenstein. I think they look awesome together and they play off of each other really well. The movie's set in 1930 Chicago. It's got a really gritty look to it. And of course, it's inspired by Bride of Frankenstein. But this isn't a traditional monster movie. If you ask me, this is an art house film. And there's nothing wrong with that. They're just not blockbuster hits in general. There are exceptions, of course. Let me be very clear. I'm not knocking this movie at all. I'm very excited for this movie. I'm just kind of digging into why this wasn't a blockbuster hit. So let's dig into some of the reasons why this didn't hit with the audience. You have to ask yourself, what sells tickets in 2026 at the box office? And in my opinion, especially if it's horror, it's mainstream horror, your big icons horror. That's what sells tickets. Yes, there are exceptions. I'm well aware. But in general, what's moving ticket sales? It's the horror icons and traditional horror monster movies. And sometimes people don't get out for major franchises either. I don't think I'm wrong in stating that a lot of people will only go to the theater nowadays for a huge spectacle, a major franchise, horror or otherwise. I think more and more people have the mindset of, I'll wait for it to come on streaming. And I mean, I have to admit, I do that quite a bit. It's expensive to go to the theater. And movie going has changed. And quite frankly, if I have a 120-inch projector screen at home with full surround sound and cheap snacks in the cupboard, if it's not a major hit or a major franchise, I'm gonna wait. At the end of the day, this is a beautiful movie. You know, I'd put it in the same vein as The Green Knight or Crimson Peak, and that's great. They're just not ticket movers at the box office. They develop a cult following. Let's talk about the trailer for a minute. And I talked about this the other day. I love the trailer. The trailer did it for me. Absolutely. But if you think about other people, maybe that are not into horror the same way that we are, maybe it was confusing. I found it, looking at it from a different lens, maybe to be a bit confusing. What type of movie is this? Is it horror? Is it an art film? Is it gothic romance? I think a lot of people watching it were like, what am I going to be getting myself into if I go to the theaters to see this? And when people think that, they're not necessarily going to go to the theaters. They're going to wait for it to come out later. When audiences can't tell immediately what a movie is, chances are they're going to skip it. Honestly, this one just might have been a little too hard to sell. Let's talk about problem number 3. Universal monsters fatigue. I mean, let's face it, Universal has struggled with their monsters in the past few years. Tom Cruise Mummy, anyone? Yeah, I think the reality is people have lost faith in Universal monsters. We want the classics, and if you're going to update them, they better be as good as the classics, or as good as they can be compared to the classics. I think a lot of people were like, another Universal Monsters movie, it's going to flop. But the reality is, studios are still trying to figure out what to do with the Universal Monsters IP. I'll say it again, modern audiences want pure horror and big box office spectacles. The Bride is something very different. It's smaller, stranger, and experimental. Honestly, this movie should have been straight to streaming. Someone should have picked it up for their platform. It would have been a great asset to have, and I'm sure would have been number 1 on Hulu or Prime or Netflix. Streaming allows for word of mouth, slower discovery, and basically for niche audiences to find it easier. There are a lot of horror movies that have done great on streaming that probably wouldn't have done great at the box office. Prey, The Barbarian, The Menu. Those are all great, but I can't see either one of them doing well at the box office either. Theaters acquire an instant mass appeal. I've got to go see it. I can't miss it. And a lot of movies nowadays don't have that mass appeal. There's a couple things I want to say about The Bride flopping. The Bride failing at the box office doesn't mean it's a failure. This movie could become a cult classic. Donnie Darko tanked at the theater. Look at it now. It's a cult classic, and who doesn't have it in their collection? Movies like The Bride often find their audiences later, so it wouldn't surprise me if in a couple of years this hits that cult status level. So the box office failure of The Bride doesn't surprise me. This movie's very niche, and I think it will find its audience. It's just not people that are going to the theaters in 2026. I do think, though, that this movie will find its audience when it comes to streaming. And with it failing at the box office, it's probably going to come to streaming a lot quicker than originally intended. So viewers, tell me what you think. Did you see The Bride? Did you enjoy it? Is it something that you had to see in theaters and glad that you did? Or did you see it in theaters and think, I could have waited for this to come out on streaming? Let me know down below, and thank you so much for joining me today. If you like this content, please give me a like, please give me a sub. I really appreciate it. Have a great day.